All right, the watch list for Monday, November 14th. The SPY holding up really well post-election, so I'm pretty bullish as far as looking for intraday stuff. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I don't think I have ever traded NUGT, which is what, like the gold, triple gold ETF, or I don't know if it's a triple, double, single. I think it's a triple, though. But it's fallen pretty hard, pretty fast from 16 down to like 8 in 3 days. So this is, and see the volume increasing. This is a good candidate to watch for a bounce on Monday or anytime this week, certainly. But Monday's my favorite because to me that's too far, too fast. Just remember, it is let me double check. It's a gold miner triple ETF, right? So I mean, it's gonna do whatever gold does, and you can see gold itself, the same kind of thing, right? So NUGT might be a fun way to play it. I don't think I've ever traded this thing though, so I'm not. It's not a company. It's a triple gold miner ETF. Remember that these can be dangerous. But I saw the chart and thought, you know what, I got to put that on Bounce Watch. LKSD. Man, this thing looks like it doesn't have much history to go on. Looks like it came public, or maybe it was a spin-off. I didn't do much research because I'm really a chart guy and a trader, right? But from 37, just straight down, then a little bear flag, and then straight down again. It's getting ahead of itself now in just a couple days from about 23 down to 17-ish. That's a good candidate for a potential bounce tomorrow. Smith & Wesson, SWHC goes back on watch right down to that support. I'm looking for a bounce in this one tomorrow. I didn't take any trades in it on Friday, but certainly worth watching. As a matter of fact, the trade that made my week was Dry Ships, DRYS. I'm going to show you real quick how I called this. Now, if you remember, in the video on Thursday night, I said DRYS is interesting because it's a low float squeezer. It went from 475 to 1560, so I said I'm going to watch it for the next week or so. I doubt I'll get a trade in it tomorrow. And then on an intraday basis, I got the biggest trade I've had in a long time on it, right? Let's go to 2-minute candles just to show you how I called it in the chat room, why I called it. Okay, so it did gap up a little bit. Here was the close on Friday. The close on Thursday was 1177. So then it opens 1223. So a decent little gap up. It gaps and pops right away. Now, the methods we teach on gap plays are we never just jump right in anything. We have to have a setup, right? Otherwise, you're just guessing, and even if you make money when you're just guessing, the market will get it back tenfold, right? Because you've just taught yourself guessing works. So got to have a methodology. You got to have a system in place. So this thing sold off in the opening 2 minutes after the initial pop. Didn't do anything. But all of a sudden, it seems to have found support, and it's back above 11. On the next candle I'm going to show you, you'll see it popping up here. And I called it long over the mic around 12 bucks. I'm sorry, one more candle. So it started to climb up. And the thinking behind this was it had such a short squeeze, right? And then sellers win the battle at the open, which makes me like it that much more if it's going to pop and get through, the red to green and high of day break. This thing could really rip, right? Because all the sellers from this morning that thought, hey, Dry Ships made a stupid move on Thursday, which it did, right? But they start shorting, and next thing you know, this thing heads up. Those shorts are in trouble. So this was a pretty good setup. I called it out over the mic right around 12, got long myself, and look at this thing. It goes up to almost 19. It gets up to 1877. And I made, I don't know, in 20 minutes, almost $5,000. That's a good day for me. And that was, I quit trading after that. I said to myself, I'm not going to walk into the weekend doing anything stupid, not after a nice trade like that. So it's a great setup. A low float squeezer. The next day, sellers come in. This is the way I word it in chat, right? Sellers came in, and right about here, those sellers are thinking about failing. Well, not thinking about it. They're facing possible failure, right? Sellers meaning shorters come in. They fail, right? I mean, the reason I said around 12 was because a whole number break can be powerful anyway. Just above the whole number 12, what do you have? You have the open, which was 1223. So 1224 is red to green. What do you have just above that? High of daybreak, 1276. So you had stacked catalysts, and it just ripped. Just a fantastic day. Now, I'm going to keep this on watch, but it's not really on the watch list for Monday because, I don't know. It's made such a huge move in 2 days, but it'll be on a chart. So you may see the video on Monday night. Maybe I will have played it again, but it's not my number one stock that I'm interested in like it was going into Friday. I think it needs to come in for a day or two. But anyway, we'll see, right? CXW, after this pop-up on big volume, you've got a couple red days now on declining volume. Possible turn back up on Monday. STEM, STEM, huge pop here, massive move back here, right? And then if people shorten this are fully aware of this massive move back here. So if these sellers, just like I said, if these sellers that came in on Friday fail on Monday, we might get a nice pop. All right, so I want to watch STEM, PTCT, huge move, huge gap up on, and you know it held up pretty darn well on Friday on really good volume. So maybe a red to green, something like that in that one. And then lastly, I'm going with SHAK, Shake Shack. Had a big pop on Thursday and then an inside day on Friday, but both of these days closing above its open, and you have what's called stacked catalyst again. If we can get through the whole number 38, what's just above that? Friday's high of 38.17, and then you have Thursday's high above that. So you have stacked catalyst. I don't know how it's going to trade at the open, so I don't want to say I'm going to get long over 38. I don't know if it'll even get there, right? But if it can give me a narrow range below 38, I might even have a better entry, knowing that 38 break might get me through Friday's high, which might get me to Thursday's high, and so on. So I'm a big fan of what I call stacked catalysts, and SHAK goes on watch for that reason. We're going to watch we're going to put together a gap playlist on Monday morning as well to add to this list I just showed you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you guys Monday.